Stay with me, guys, as I'm going to share the step-by-step process on how I was able to make this dress I saw on Pinterest. And this is going to be like a freehand method, and yeah, I would love to miss out at any point. So I'll be working with a full Ankara fabric, which will be folded into two. I have to find out, my shoulder measurement, which is 7. I'm working with a slim body and a bigger bust as a client, and yeah. So I wanted her sleeve to be, to be somewhere around here. And for my measurement, it was like 17. That's from the shoulder to that to the length was sorry 14. So I marked out 14 inches, and yeah, so that's where it is. So after marking out my 14 inch, the next thing I do is to trace out the neck width and the neck depth. So for the neck width, I'll be using 3. For the neck depth, I'll just be using 3 for a start. When I'm done slanting, I'll now kind of further slant the way I want my neck to be, especially the back and the front. So as you can see, I'm trying to to guide up on my neck measurements and my neck depth and neck width. So the next thing I do is to impute the shoulder slant, which is going to be 1 inch. So from the sleeve area, I'll be marking my shoulder slant. Remember, it's a cut together, so you can't really detach the shoulder and the sleeve. So they are all regarded as shoulder also. So I slant it up from there to the neck area. So from the shoulder, I mark my armhole or my sleeve, because now we are not also going to detach the armhole and the sleeve, so just open it up by 9. So the next thing I do is to mark on my half length, which is 15. My client have a busty body, though I've not seen her before. The measurement was sent to me, so I was asked to work with this. So this is 15 inches, and yeah, I marked it out. So after marking my 15 inch, I have to kind of mark out from that half length. I'll have to mark out maybe 2 to 3 inches, just to define the area that will connect from your waist, or from your waist to your armhole side or sleeve area. So you see, you can just cover it down. If you are used to cutting a boo gown, this will be very easy for you. And mind you, this sleeve opening can be 10, it can be 11, depending on how free you want the hand or the sleeve to be. So for my neck measurement, I'll be coming down by 8 inches for the front side, and yeah. So this is me trying to mark out a V shape for the front side. So I feel like for this neck side, it just depends on how open you want yours to be. I can see some people making theirs so to be up to 9. You understand? So it can make yours to be 11. It can make yours to be 12, depending on how you want it to be open. So me, I changed my mind though, because I want my own to open small. So at this point, I'm going to be, to be cutting through this folding area, because I'm going to join this to this side with thread. So, and I also want my V-neck to be more, clean. So I'm not going to be turning with I'm not going to be turning with the fabric. So I'm going to be, piping it. So I'm going to cut through with my scissors, and yeah. So this is what I do. So when I'm done cutting, this is it for the front part. And if I'm going to join it, this is how it will come out. So I'll go ahead to place this front part on my fabric, which is unfold into two. So but the difference between this front part and the back part is that I'm going to be adding a zipper allowance for the back side, okay, and for the neck depth is going to be a bit lower, which is just difference of maybe 1 inch. So I'll be using 8 inch, which is the previous leg that I made for the back, then 11 or 10 for the front. So you see, every other thing is the same thing apart from the 1 inch zip allowance and the higher neck depth. You understand? So I'll just go ahead and cut through all the fabric. So the next thing I do is to cut the lower part. So don't forget that we have we have just half length. We didn't measure the, we have just under bust, we didn't measure the half length. So we'll go ahead to measure out the half length, which I added extra 3 inches. So you see, from the starting point to this point is half length, and from there to this point is the hip length. So the hip length I actually used 8 and a half or so. So now the next thing I do is to mark out, my waist measurement plus 2 inches, waist measurement divided by 2 plus 2, then hip measurement divided by 2 plus 2. Then after I got the measurement, I'll just connect it up together. So mind you, I'll mark straight from the waist to the half length, then from the half length I'll connect down to the hip, just the way I'm doing. So this is what I have for the shaping. So from here I'll mark 4 inches. So these 4 inches will connect to the midpoint, to the mid area. You understand? So reason I didn't want to, go with the previous marking of the hip that I made, because I'm still going to join at this area, so I didn't mind. I can just use the entire fabric instead of wasting it. So yeah, so this is it for the front pattern of the lower part. So I'll go ahead to place this for my zipper allowance area, that is the back. So I added extra 1 inch allowance for the back, and I cut almost the same thing just like we did on the other, at the upper side. So but the difference now is that the waist side I'm going to be coming in by half inch at the waist side, because I wouldn't want a situation whereby after zipping it up it will be looking a bit funny. So you see how I came in by half inch, then every other thing was the same. So after this, I'll just go ahead and cut through my fabric. So when I'm done cutting, yeah, so that is it for the major cutting of this body. So this is the remaining fabric. So what I do is to just, arrange this fabric very well, fold them. After folding it, I was able to get like 4 yards. So for 4 yards, remember that Ankara is by 45 inches. So I'll just remove 8 inches from that 45. You understand? So whatever we removed from that 45, I used it as my length, because I actually checked my client full length. You understand? So when I calculate the full length minus that 8 inches and minus the folding allowances, so I just have to figure out that I needed to remove 8 inches from the length of the Ankara to get my client actual length measurement. Okay, so now I'll just place the lining of my fabrics. That is the, so this part, that's the front part, and the back part will be needing lining, but for every other part I won't be using lining for it. So I will go over to my sewing machine to stitch all the sides together. And mind you, the lining we are facing the front side. So I will stitch up at the direction I'm showing you and return it back. So this is it after stitching, and I'll just go ahead to turn it inside out. So when I'm done turning it inside out, I'll still go back to my ironing table to iron it out. So when I'm done ironing, yeah, this is what we have. So at this point, I'll just mark my half length measurement, which is the 3 inches that I showed you earlier. Then as you can see, I'll mark my hip measurement from there, which is 8, and then I'll mark a straight line. Mind you, at the back side I made it longer because of this drama that will be happening around the back. By the time we will stitch the back side, it will shorten. It will no longer give us exactly 9 inches or 8 inches. It will become shorter. So I have to make it 10 while I was cutting it out. So yeah, so this is what we have. And at this point we will just go to our machine. We'll first of all pin it up before we stitch. And when we are stitching, we are going to be stitching only from this part that I squared out. So I will go ahead and join the front shoulder to with the back shoulder. remember you're going to match it up, you understand? So you're not going to take the wrong side and be joining with the other side. So I match up the side first, I'll stitch up in by 1 inch. Please remember that we're going to put a stripe across this, so that's why I'm stitching up by 1 inch. So if you join the shoulder of your left side, you also join the one of the right side. So I'll repeat the same process on the both shoulder. So once I'm done joining up, I'll open it up this way, and you see I'll fold it in, you understand, when I'm done stitching. Okay, first of all, I'll just go ahead and iron it. So when you iron it, you see what you have, then you fold it in this way. I don't know if you understand, you're catching what I'm trying to show you, but look closely. You fold it in this way, oh. You understand? So by the time you fold it, our stripe can be able to can go in through that hole. I don't know if I'm making sense. And besides, before you even stitch, please do not stitch everything entirely, because we want to, to finish up the edge neatly. You understand? We would like to finish up the edge, which is this side, neatly. So I'll just go ahead and, fold my stripes. Yeah, is that what I should call this? Yeah, I'll just fold this into two. So I actually cut up to length of 14 inches. Then I made this long stripe into 4 pieces. Yeah, so I turned it inside out with a broomstick. So you can also go ahead, and you can say I have my safety pin also, where I just felt like this broom will work faster for me, and yeah, and it gave me a quicker result. So yeah, so this is it for the this the strap that I added to the shoulder. So now after doing this, the next thing I do is to insert it in. So as you can see, I've already hemmed the sleeve area. I don't know if you can see close the way I hemmed it, I stitched it back. You understand? Then when I stitch it back, I'll go ahead and complete the sewing that I didn't finish up at the ending part. So after hemming it up through, I'll just go ahead and you know insert insert the insert the rope that I created for the hole. Okay. I don't know if you understand me better now, but if you don't understand, please go back again and watch it, because I know this place will be a bit confusing. Yeah, so I'll use my safety pin to actually insert it this time. I'm not going to use broom, please. So I'll just use my safety pin and attach it. So voila, this is me trying to do that. So after we are done inserting the stripes, so this is what it looks like at the neck part. So we're going to be folding it into two. This is how we're going to finish the neck. Actually, I'm not going to be finishing with the lining. So but before then, I will go ahead and trim out this excess with my scissors. And the reason I'm not finishing with my line is because I wanted this to be as relaxed as possible, because this is Ankara. So, but then again, it's optional. It's even be neater if you finish it up with a lining at this point. But this is just what I wanted to do. So I'll finish up into two, just folding into two and stitching up in the machine, just like the one I'm directing. So when I'm done stitching it up, this is what it will look like. As you can see, I've already stitched it up now. So the next thing I do is to join the front. Remember that 1/2 inch at the front side, I will join the two sides. You see, I will join it together, and also the back side with the zipper allowance. I will go ahead to trace out the 1 inch that I gave. So after I'm done tracing, I will still go to my machine and stitch it. So when I'm done stitching, I will also turn it the other way. That is the front, joining with the front side, as you can see. Yeah, turning it upside down, match it up. That is the armhole area or the sleeve area. Then I'll also stitch it there. So when I'm done stitching, yeah, this is what it looks like This is the front side, and the other side I showed you was the broad side. So this is what it will look like when you gather this side and drag the shoulder. You understand? This is how it will reduce to. So after I'm done, I'll just take my gather stitch around the waist area, then gather it all through. So when I'm done gathering it, I will now, so I'll kind of roast the shoulder side to know what it looks like when I'm done roasting it. And yeah, I think I love what I'm getting. And for a slimmer person, I feel like this would be a good banging fit for her. So the next thing is I join the lower part together, shape the waist side and the half length side. Then after that, I will go ahead to figure out a way to shape the hip. Remember that the hip is 8, but because of the style, it was reduced to 5. You because of the slanting. So when you are shaping the hip, make sure you consider all those factors. While shaping. So I also go ahead to iron out the same allowance, the same openings that I left while stitching. And once I'm done ironing, I'll just turn it inside out. So yeah, after turning this inside out, you kind of bring the upper body to figure out the best way to match it up. You understand? So I'll kind of check if it's going to go round the clothes, the lower part. So if it's not going to go round, I'll kind of drag it more. So but before then, I will just go ahead to open up the zipper side. I'll just turn it to the zipper allowance, unpin it, then match up you know the the right side of my my zipper to the upper body of the down. So I'll just match the sides together and pin it up. So when I'm done pinning, I also figure out the side seam. That's the side. I also make sure that it's matching up with the side of of the the bodies. Same way with the midpoint, you make sure that it's matching up. So once you confirm everything is matching up, you will stitch it all through. So when I was done stitching, because I have to go. I didn't have an overlocking machine. I have to go and weave it up where I was going to weave it. So after weaving it up, yeah, this is what it looks like inside. At least the inside is looking neat and everything is on point. So I'll go ahead and attach the zipper at my zipper allowance area. So after attaching the zip, this is what we'll have for the back. As you can see, it's already giving us a top vibe. You understand? So now it's time to kind of arrange the lower part of this dress. So for the lower part of this, remember I will hem this side that I cut out. Then the part that have the English mouth, I'm going to gather it. Please not forget the way we achieve this lower part. So at the lower part, I will hem it. At the side, which is going to be that zip side, I will also hem it. This is because I will not have to go and overlock again. Like I'm not going to weave again. So after that, I will just have to go ahead to to gather the English mouth area. You understand? So when I'm done gathering, I will just match it up as well. Remember, I'll match it up. So while matching it up, I'll have to consider the zipper area. I will kind of leave 1 inch allowance for before I start stitching straight. I don't know if you are looking at what I'm showing you. So I'll kind of start stitching after 1 inch. This is because when I'm done stitching it round, I want to have a space where I can just stitch straight. So I've already done the stitching round, so I'll just flip it to the back and show you what I mean. So flipping it over, okay, just this way. This is the 1 inch I left. I will have to just join it together. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I will join it together, then stitch it up straight from the point that I started sewing on the both side. So when I'm done stitching this straight, it will give me a very good neat finishing. Like I won't have to come and start worrying about how to finish up the ending point. So yeah, when I'm done, this is the result I have. And as you can see, the cloth is looking pretty, so I'll have to go ahead and iron it. After iron it, I will just display it on the mannequin so you can see. So now, please, this is the final look of this tutorial. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. In this way, you're kind of encouraging this new YouTuber to be putting out something out there. So please don't forget to drop your opinion on the comment section. See you all in my next video. Bye.